In October 2025, Tanzania found itself at a breaking point. A country known for its relative calm, now rocked by violent protests, mass casualties, curfews, and a communication blackout. At the center of this upheaval, Samia Suluhu Hassan, once hailed as a reformer, now leader of a system under fire. This is the story of how power, fear, and legacy collided, of a woman who stepped out of her own shadow and may now be consumed by it. On 29th October 2025, Tanzania held its general election. Officially, the vote aimed to renew the mandate of the ruling Chama cha Mapinduzi CCM in power since 1961. But the race was far from fair. The two main opposition contenders, Tundu Lissu of Chama cha Demokrasia na Maendeleo Chadema and Luhanga Mpina of ACT Wazalendo, were barred from the ballot through a mix of legal obstacles and arrest. Thus, Samia Suluhu Hassan faced only minor party challenges, an election in name, but many say a coronation in fact. On 1st November 2025, the National Electoral Commission Tanzania declared Samia Suluhu Hassan the winner with 97.66% of more than 31.9 million votes.
Cha 10 cha sheria ya uchaguzi wa rais wa bunge na madiwani, sheria namba 1 ya mwaka 2024, umechaguliwa kuwa rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania katika uchaguzi mkuu wa mwaka 2025 uliofanyika tarehe 29 mwezi Oktoba mwaka 2025. Naomba sasa nikukabidhi hati ya kuchaguliwa kuwa rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania.
But the spectacles was clouded by massive doubts. How could a democratic contest deliver such a near unanimous result when the opposition had been marginalized? How could such an outcome inspire legitimacy when the very challengers had been locked out? 2 days later, in an unprecedented move, Samia Suluhu was sworn in privately, not at State House, but within secured military base outside Dodoma. The ceremony, attended by only a handful of senior security officials and loyal party members, fueled speculation that the government feared public backlash or internal dissent. The image of a leader taking oath under military watch dipped questions about the state of democracy in Tanzania. As the result rolled in, protests broke out across the country. In Dar es Salaam, Mwanza, Shinyanga, Morogoro, demonstrators, furious at what they deemed a sham election, clashed with security forces. According to the opposition party Chadema, around 700 people were killed over the first 3 days of protest. The Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights confirmed credible reports of at least 10 deaths and called for an independent investigation. An internet blackout and nationwide curfew followed. The military was deployed. The transportation network and ports faced disruptions. Samia Suluhu rose to power in 2021, the first woman president of Tanzania. Many hoped she would transform the country's political tone. But now, in her bid for a full term, the shadow she once ran against of crackdown, exclusion, one-party dominance seems stronger than ever. She faced her greatest contest, not with the opponents, but with the legacy of her predecessor and the system that upheld him. Reports of deaths mounted. Opposition sources counted bodies in hospitals and morgues, hundreds in Dar es Salaam, over hundreds in Mwanza. Human rights groups warned of unnecessary or excessive force by security forces. Yet the government described the unrest as isolated incidents and has not independently verified the higher casualties figures. The voices on the ground expressed pain, anger, and fear. My heart is broken. I can't even type this without shaking. In the communication blackout, many feared the worst without proof. For millions of Tanzanians, the election was not about who would lead, but whether they could be heard. Youth unemployed, women hopeful, opposition supporters silenced. They asked, is this leadership for the people or for the entrenched party? In one corner, a woman leader breaking new ground. In the other, a political machine and board refusing to yield. Abroad, governments and international institutions took notice. The European Union expressed concern over large numbers of fatalities, the internet shutdown, and the lack of genuine competition. The UN Rights Office warned Tanzania's authorities that force will not erase the call for democracy. But for Tanzania's leaders, the message is ambiguous: reformers or reinforcers. The election is over, the victory declared, but the crisis remains. Can a government led by a woman who once symbolized hope now heal a nation wounded by its own poll? Will curfew and blackouts become the new normal? Or will the voices of the street force a turn? The shadow she faced of suppression, of one-party rule, might not vanish within her win. It may become the darkness she now governs. A woman broke ceilings. A country stands at a crossroad. In Tanzania, the past is alive, the future uncertain. But as the tide rolls in on the Indian Ocean, one truth remains. Leadership is not just about winning. It is about legitimacy, trust, and the people you serve. This is the story of Samia Suluhu Hassan, the African woman who competed with a shadow and won. The question, what kind of tomorrow will she shape?